everyone, I'm Cedrine, this is Merrick.
Hello.
Welcome to a new breakdown for the trailer for next week's episode of Game of Thrones, The Winds of Winter finale. This is
Season
our last
finale
breakdown
of the season.
Of the season.
Oh my god, oh my god.
The title of the episode refers to the title of the 6th book in the series, which hasn't been released yet, unfortunately, but it should be quite interesting. Let's break down the trailer!
The first frames of the trailer are showing us people preparing. We see Cersei all dressed in black, probably preparing for her trial. We see Marjorie being coiffed. We see Tommen receiving his crown. And then we see the High Sparrow and basically the Seven sitting down to proclaim judgment on none other than Loras, who does not look good.
He looks like
shit. So my question in this particular sense is, we know he's broken. We know he just wants this over and he's probably going to admit to all his sins, right? The question is that going to be enough? Or is the Seven going to still decide that he basically gets killed?
I have a bad feeling about, Loras is not coming out of this well. I think my question is, though, that Marjorie, we know, is still sort of playing a role and in a way trying to save him, because the last time they met, she was saying, don't lose hope, and it feels like she really does care for her family. I mean, she sent her grandmother away to save her, and I feel like she maybe she's still trying to save him. I mean, I'm just wondering if does she have a plan in place? Will they maybe be lenient towards him because of her?
Yeah, but here's the thing. I think they're trying to make an example. Now, whether they make the example out of Loras or Cersei is yet to be determined, right? Because that's the reason why this whole trial by combat didn't happen, is so that they're heightening it up. In my opinion, Loras is a solid 50-50 chance of either getting killed or getting banished, right? It's one or the other.
What are your thoughts, though, on the trial? Do you think that Loras is just going to be... wrap it up?
Wrap him up? Let's wrap Loras up.
Or is there still hope for him? I do wonder if we're going to spend that much time on him, though, because I feel this is more of a Cersei.
Yeah, no, I feel this is... I'm absolutely
you know.
with you. I think it's absolutely going to be a Cersei episode. And if I am in the theorizing mood, and I'm always in the theorizing mood.
Crazy
theories are American. Here's how I think. I think the whole rumor that Cersei had discussed with Qyburn is going to come into play here. Yeah. And we had surmised that it's either going to be about the wildfire or something about the High Sparrow. But here's my thing.
I think it's wildfire, right?
Yeah.
Right?
Here's my thing. Here's my prediction on how this whole thing is gonna just come out. Loras aside, because we don't know and really care about what happens to everyone. Wrap them up. I think Cersei's not coming out of this alive.
Here's the thing, though. If she dies, Tommen has to die first.
I know. And your point is,
right.
Tommen was meant to die.
I know, but I'm just saying.
The fact that Tommen is alive is a miracle. And I think for any number of reasons, he's going to be killed, and then Cersei's going to be killed, or die, or kill herself. Basically, both of them, as a characters, are gone. I also think the High Sparrow is going to get it.
It would be very satisfying.
I think the High Sparrow is definitely going to get it. I think that's what this whole thing is going to be all about. Now, is it Cersei blowing everything up? I doubt it. I really think that might maybe come into play, but I don't think she's going to go through with it. Because otherwise, what is Dany going to burn up? I mean, leave something for Dany.
In Dany's vision, she did see, I think, the throne room burnt in some way. I do think so.
But I know you've been asking me, how is Tommen gonna die?
Yeah.
Here's my theory. I think... I know. Crazy theory by Merrick.
Part 2.
I think it's Dorne. I think it's the Sand Snakes that actually killed Trystane. And for all intents and purposes, they were actually at King's Landing because the boat was there, right? So they killed him there. I don't think they went back to Dorne. I think they stayed around and waited for their opportunity to strike. And in my mind, they would have waited and struck at that particular time and actually killed Tommen.
I really think that it's the end of Dorne. this season.
No.
I just feel like it wasn't an exciting story. I feel like they were just like, let's just wrap it up. Let's kill everyone. Let's just have them like a rebellion, and then let's move on from this, because it was not really great.
And I will actually tell you how you will know that my prediction will come through.
Okay.
Before the episode begins. If there's a previously on Dorne,
yeah.
I call it Tommen is dead, Sand Snakes are killing him.
I would be kind of disappointed if it was Dorne, because I was never excited about the Sand Snakes to begin with. So there's also a shot of a man walking in King's Landing, it looks like, from the back, and we've rewatched the scene over and over and over, and I think we've finally decided that it has to be Lancel Lannister.
Yeah.
It looks like it's his robe, and there's like the chain that you can
And the
kind of see, and
haircut
the
is
haircut.
yeah,
And
the
he
build-
looks young, and
yeah.
he's just kind of walking, and I think that's who it is.
Yeah.
Or maybe just another Faith militant, but I think it would make sense that it's Lancel Lannister.
Of Lancel, it's the end of Lancel.
I don't know, but you let us know if you think it's someone else. Do you have any other theories on who this is? The phrase "and the Lannisters send their regards."
I mean, he's like begging for someone to kill him.
I just feel like he's literally using the same words that Roose Bolton told Robb Stark before stabbing him. Like, the Lannisters send their regards. It's like, really? I mean, it's just, if this is not foreshadowing for some death, I don't know what is.
But what's interesting to me is like, what the heck is Jaime doing there? Because his thing is, I want to get this River Run thing wrapped and go, but
maybe he still has some duties. Like, he has to, they want to thank him. Maybe it's like a custom thing. But yeah, I am surprised that he wouldn't be like, peace, I'm out. Let me go see Cersei.
I don't know.
But at least he's far away from all that craziness, so he might be a little more safe.
Do we think it's the end of the phrase? I think it's the end of the phrase.
I don't know if it's the end of the phrase, but I certainly think that there's gotta be, again, maybe I'm just hoping for too much again, but there's gotta be something more than just, let's just have a celebratory feast with Jaime and that's it.
They wouldn't waste a scene like that. Like, something's gonna happen.
It's gotta be. And again, the phrase in the Lannisters send their regards. Seriously? Alert! Wrap him up. And then we get Davos and Melisandre and Jon. And Davos says, tell him what you did to her. Tell him! Which is, he's obviously talking about Shireen. Again, I've been waiting for this since the end of the finale of last season. I was like, when is he gonna find out? Because when he did ask Melisandre how she died, I think they were interrupted, so we never really found out. So in episode 9, he does finally get an inkling that there was something more to it than what Melisandre sort of let him think.
I think that's an excellent point. But if you think about it, of the two characters, I think it's the end of the journey for one of them. I don't know who it's going to be.
I don't think they're going to kill Melisandre necessarily.
I said end of journey. It doesn't have to be death, right? It's likely that Jon is going to have to make a decision. And that's why I think Davos is bringing Melisandre in front of him, bringing the situation in front of him, because it needs to be resolved. It's awkward because Jon is only there because Melisandre brought him back. And Davos actually asked her to do it. But
yeah, that's true.
Yeah, I don't know. It's going to be an awkward situation. In my opinion, one of those characters is going to be the end of their journey, whether it's a death or a banishment.
And then there's Jon saying to Sansa, we need to trust each other. We have so many enemies now. And, they do.
But I think you made the point that part of the reason why he's saying this is because he was surprised at seeing the Vale come in because it wasn't part of the original plan.
Yeah.
And she probably didn't trust him enough to share that plan. Well, it was a nice surprise.
Yeah.
It probably would have been nice to know because it would have maybe changed the way he had strategized for this and maybe less people would have died. So her lack of trust, I think, potentially contributed to a lot more people dying unnecessarily, right? So it's important that they're reestablishing this relationship.
Yeah.
And I think they are. I think they're going to make it work, no problem. I don't think this is a falling out in any way, shape, or form. It's just, them coming together.
And we get a scene between Littlefinger and Sansa. What do you want? I thought you knew what I wanted. I want to marry you, Sansa Stark.
Well, that's basically what he's saying.
That's a subtext.
But for me, there's another subtext. There's another foreshadowing. Crazy theory time, which a lot of people actually have brought up quite a bit. I think, and this has happened throughout the season, at least twice, as much as I remember, where Sansa is talking to Littlefinger and saying, do you know what he did to me? You know, I still feel him in me. He's still in me in one way. And then when she was having that final conversation with Ramsay, he's saying, I'm a part of you now. So for me, that was foreshadowing for the fact that Sansa is pregnant. I'm calling it Sansa is pregnant.
I think I would be very disappointed because that means it's not really the end of Ramsay.
Yeah, Ramsay keeps going, keeps
Just
hanging
won't
on.
die. The question is, what do you think Sansa is gonna answer to Littlefinger? Because she kind of owes him now, but at the same time,
No.
he betrayed her.
No. She doesn't owe him jack anymore. She went there.
That's true.
She suffered what she had to suffer. He owed her for that. For putting her in that situation. Right. He repaid that debt. They're even.
But do you think she does? I mean, it seemed when she was at the Vale with him, she did have some
but she lost
feeling.
it.
That's
I think she
did.
lost it. She's lost that loving feeling.
She lost.
Oh, feel it.
Dany and Daario seem to have a moment. To me, it seems a little bit like longing, like we can't really be together anymore.
To me, it's more of like a bye-bye.
But why would Daario leave, though?
I don't think he's necessarily leaving. I think she might be leaving him behind. Because he is...
Take care of Meereen and
it's
the slavers.
Possible. She needs someone she can trust. Who's she going to leave? She's not going to leave Grey Worm behind. She's definitely not going to leave the Dothrakis behind. He's the only military leader that she trusts. And I think she's going to ask him to stay. And maybe that goes with your longing.
Yeah.
Maybe he's seasick too. You don't know. You don't know why he can't go. But I don't think he's going to go. I think this is bye-bye for Daario while Daenerys sets sail to Westeros.
Finally, after 6 seasons.
And I think the scene with Tyrion, where he's basically counseling her and telling her, you're in the great game now.
Yeah.
I think it's basically, this is Dany before she's going on the ships and then heading to Westeros to take over her rightful place on the throne.
I think they're just discussing what they will do once they get there, just kind of their next moves. Like, okay, we're going to ship to Westeros, but what happens next? What happens once we get there? And I think he's counseling her a little bit because probably she's like, fuck, I've been dreaming of this forever, but now it's here. And it's like,
We don't know if she's ready to do this. And she doesn't know if she's ready to do this. She's been sort of like learning to be a leader, sort of like on the job. And she's still learning, and this is a moment of uncertainty that Tyrion is helping her through it. And I can't wait for it. I think it's going to be one of the good moments of the episode for sure.
We also get one shot of Bran, which doesn't give us much to go on. However, it does reveal the fact that we will get some Bran action, which could lead to 2 possibilities. We're gonna get another flashback of Tower of Joy. So finish the one where we saw young Ned fighting and going into the tower. And I think...
Promise me, Ned.
Promise me. I'm hoping that they give it to us, because this scene could lead to a revelation about Jon Snow's parentage, which we've been waiting since season 1. And the big theory about this is what people refer to as R plus L equals J. Rhaegar Targaryen plus Lyanna Stark equals Jon Snow, meaning that Rhaegar Targaryen, aka Daenerys' brother, had a baby with Lyanna Stark, who is Ned's sister, and that baby is Jon Snow, which would make Jon Snow a Targaryen.
Could this be the episode where we find out?
Could this be it that we find out?
And I love that we're making that all those assumptions based on one image of Bran being there.
I know.
And we're like...
The second possibility with Bran, and they could be both of them too, but is that Bran is walking south of the Wall, and we're gonna find out whether him having the Night's King mark on him will allow the White Walkers to walk past the Wall. That's how the kind of shit goes down. I don't think we're gonna see the White Walker this season for some reason. I think it will end with Daenerys going to Westeros, and a little calmer of an ending. Usually we would also look at scenes from the trailer we haven't seen yet, but obviously this is the last episode, so all the scenes are going to be in this episode. I think we wanted to bring up something that might also give us some clue as to what might happen at the end of the season. Yahoo interviewed Macy Williams and who plays Arya and
Sophie Turner.
Who plays Sansa, and asked them to share 2 truths and a lie about this season of Game of Thrones. And in hindsight now, it's really interesting to read them because I think we can make some assumptions as to what's coming. Let's start with Sophie Turner. Here's what she said. Ramsay dies. That's the truth. Lady Stoneheart returns. I think we kind of assume that's not going to happen. And 3, Arya checks 3 people off her list.
Ooh.
So we got Ramsay, that's the truth. Assuming Lady Stoneheart is not happening this season, I don't think it makes sense for it to happen now. It's too hard to explain.
Yeah.
I think we can pretty much say this is a lie. So then that means that Arya will check 3 people off her list, and that doesn't necessarily mean that she will kill them, but they might die.
Yeah.
Before we get to that, let's talk about what Macy Williams said. Arya goes to Westeros back over the sea. Mm-hmm. Arya's in the trailer more times than people have realized because they don't realize it's her. And 3, Arya doesn't cross any more names off her list. So with the Sophie Turner revelations in mind, I think Arya doesn't cross off more people is probably the lie. And then Arya goes to Westeros. I think it's sort of established already, so we might get more of her in this final episode of her actually going on a boat. It would be interesting because at the end of season 4, she jumps on a boat to go to Bravo. So maybe this season might end with her on a boat going to Westeros. I think the most important part of this is the 3 people that she can check off her list, which possibly, if this is true, and if we're really assuming this is happening, 3 people of her list are going to die.
Yep.
Here are the people on her list that are still alive.
From the show.
The list is from episode 5 from season 4. Cersei, Walder Frey, the Red Woman, Beric Dondarrion, Thoros of Myr, the Mountain, and the Hound. But the Hound she actually removed from the list. I think we can remove Beric Dondarrion and Thoros of Myr because I doubt we're going to see them again this season.
I really do.
Which leaves Cersei, Walder Frey, the Red Woman,
and
the Mountain. It's very likely that
Walder Frey,
we've been saying, it seems almost like he's just begging to be killed, so he might die.
For sure.
Cersei, we're kind of thinking she's going to die this season, right? So it could be her.
I don't think it's going to be the Mountain because I think Clegane Bowl is actually going to happen. Mountain and the Hound.
The Mountain versus the Hound?
Yeah, it's definitely going to happen. And I don't think it's going to happen this season. So I don't
you think they're leaving the door open
I think they're
to
definitely
happen?
leaving the door open, right?
So then it would be Melisandre?
It would be Melisandre. But that's what we think.
Yeah.
We'd love to hear what you think.
Because we're totally going crazy here.
Putting the list in the description so you can take a look yourself. We want to know, who do you think is actually going to die if the theory is actually going to be, accurate or not.
So that's it. Last breakdown, last episode coming up. It's crazy. And in case you want to see more of our Game of Thrones videos, you can watch them all right here. Right here.
Stop it.
Thank you guys so much for watching, and we'll see you soon.
Bye.
That love and feeling. Oh, that love and feeling.